Hey, Cosmic Warriors. This is the Cosmic Coaches Group. I am the admin here, Lynn Louise, and I want to come in and do a little speaking and maybe even a little coaching. That's not really like, I don't talk about this kind of stuff that much anymore, and I am being called to talk about it today because I'm struggling with some gastro issues. And one of the biggest questions that I get as a thought leader, as a coach, is how do you stay centered when you're experiencing physical illness or maybe going through an emotional time? I get that a lot. And since I was down yesterday and I'm pretty much down today with gastro issues, they're the worst, y'all. They're the worst. I thought, hey, why not speak directly from that place so that I can give more awareness around what you can do to stay in that moment, to stay in that center. So bear with me for this, because I'm still in the eye of the storm, baby. I'm still in the eye of the storm. But there's one thing I want to help you understand about our brain, okay? Because we often associate centered with our thoughts, okay? And a lot of you in here probably do meditation. You have practices, and so like in meditation where you're just aware of your thoughts and you're letting them pass through. So there are three phases, or three levels, I should say, in thought. And the very first level is thinking, okay? That's running, your brain's just thinking, and you're basing your decisions and making decisions based on your thoughts, okay? That's the first level. The second level is awareness. I'm not going to go over the third level. I'm going to be hosting an absolutely free training in August, and I'll go through all of this, and it's going to give you so much insight. But the second level of thought is awareness. Now, this is where this becomes really powerful for you to use in situations like, emotional trauma, or getting gastro stuff, or ending up in ER or something like that, right? Like, we can use this, what I'm going to tell you, to enhance your ability to really remain centered. But I'm going to tell you, it's a really easy answer, how you remain centered. It's Evolution 10X method, but you need to be able and willing to invest in it and learn it, okay? But I'm going to share a little bit of it so that you can get relief next time you're in the eye of the storm. And I'm telling you this from a background, like what the time that I really implemented it and put E10X through the most powerful test was when I was involved in a very serious car wreck back in August 2020 that left me unable to walk. I had to go through surgeries. I had broken everything. I felt like I'd broken everything. I had to stay vertical for 6 months. Crazy times, okay? But I implemented the E10X method, and this is just a sliver of it because it takes me 12 weeks to teach it to you, okay? But 12 weeks is nothing in the scheme of the rest of your life, right? Okay, so here. First level is thinking. Second level of thought is awareness. Now, awareness is when you're really able to observe your thoughts, but not attach a meaning to them, and not allowing them to dictate decisions that you make or actions that you take, okay? So when we get sick, our physical brain is what keeps us alive. It's never going to not think. Okay, our brain is never not going to be thinking. That's its job, okay? But when we do the work and we've like moved up and we have gratitude for a lot of things and we've changed a lot of our limiting beliefs about who we are and what we're capable of, and we've done all that hard work, right? We've gotten used to a particular thought pattern because we've changed neural pathways. And when we are healthy and we're able to maintain hydration and eat well and get good night's sleep and all that beautiful stuff, it's really easy for us to continue to reinforce those positive neural pathways in our brain. But when we get sick, our brain has more important things to address. When we are experiencing emotional, physical trauma, when we're going through all that, our brain has to choose and prioritize keeping us alive, keeping our blood pressure down, making sure that we're, maintaining, like it's literally keeping us alive. So it moves its priority to our physical body. I want you to understand that. That's where its priority is going to be. So when I started going through all my gastro stuff, my body was like, oh shit, I got to keep her alive. And so it's focusing all of its energy on that. And it's not prioritizing the neural pathways. So when I'm sick, it's going to revert to old neural pathways because it's easier. Because those are like freeways that I had developed for decades running down my brain, right? And things like, you're lazy, you're not smart enough, what you're doing's wrong. Like, how are you ever you're never gonna get better from this. I can't believe, like, maybe you made maybe the day before I got sick, I made a bad food choice or something in this. Look at what you do to yourself, right? So those neural pathways that it's going to revert to take up less physical energy. Less physical energy because it needs to put all of its most of its energy, it's prioritizing to keeping you alive. That's the important part, keeping this body running. So how do we utilize the information? Sorry, my nose is plugged and everything from all this. How do we utilize this information, right? When we know that we do not want to expel any energy and we basically probably can't physically, I could not expel any energy to change my thoughts yesterday. I was just having an okay time trying to stay awake for longer than half an hour, right? So what we do is we move into that state of awareness. This doesn't take work. It does not take energy. Okay, so when we recognize that our body is giving all the attention to our physical healing and focusing on getting us feeling better, and that those thoughts that we're thinking that are negative old thought patterns from way back, like, oh my God, I'm thinking things that I haven't thought about in 7 years or whatever, right? Like your brain is just reverting to the easiest path of least resistance so that it can expel all of its energy on keeping you alive. When you know that that's the only reason that you're talking shit to yourself and that that's the only reason that all these bad thoughts and emotions and stuff are coming up, don't attach a meaning to it. Don't beat yourself up. Just know that those are just thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. Your thoughts are an illusion. They're an illusion. And it can shit talk to you. And when you move into awareness, that state of where you're just observing your thoughts, knowing that you are the thinker of your thoughts, but you're just observing because at that moment in time, you don't have the energy to really change your thoughts. Just know to yourself that that too will end. So yesterday when I was in the eye of the storm, and I'm still in it a bit, right? When I was in the eye of the storm, I had all these old thought patterns that came back into play, and they were just beating me up. They were making me feel shameful and gross and depressed, and some of them are still there, but most of them are starting to, like, the cloud is lifting. But when I would be awake and I would be noticing those thoughts, I would just say to myself, sorry, I might sneeze. I would just say to myself, I wouldn't even say, I would just be aware that, yeah, those thoughts are going on, but I'm not attaching any meaning to them because this is just part of the healing process. It's just a stage. I too will get over it. We want to know that we're going to move out of it and it will naturally happen because we have been doing the work and we know the work and we know how to move our thoughts into awareness, right? So most of you in here are all operating between thinking and awareness, right? You haven't moved up to consciousness yet. And that's something I'll talk about in the upcoming free workshop. It's going to be a training in August. But so you're fluctuating between there. So next time you just experience like a hard time or whatever, and you find your thoughts going back into old thought patterns, that don't judge yourself for that. Don't judge your brain for it. Don't judge yourself. Don't think that you have fallen back into old behaviors. Just know that your physical brain is doing everything that it can to keep your body alive in that moment. And those thought neural pathways are not its priority. But when you start physically feeling better and you can focus some of your attention on moving those thoughts, you will soon be able to do that again. So on that note, I have a dentist appointment at 11. You're like, Lynn, you have gastro stuff. Why are you still going? Okay, let me tell you this. Getting into the dentist for a cleaning is ridiculous. I had to wait for this time because the last time I was getting my braces off, and they're like, well, let's just put you on the schedule because once you get your braces off, we'll want to do a cleaning to get all the rest of the stuff. I had to postpone it. They didn't have anything available for 6 more months. And I'm not willing to wait another 6 months to get my teeth cleaned because I want them done now. So pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. I'm going to warn him when I go in, but at least I'm not doing any of that. The gastro stuff is more below the belt, if you get my drift. TMI.